everyone, Lee with LG Speed and Custom here. So, I bought a new, to me, car trailer. Very similar to my old car trailer that I had, except for instead of fitting one car, it will fit two cars. Double the fun. However, much like most of my projects, it's a piece of crap. So, in these next couple videos, we're going to turn my new Hallmark 28-foot enclosed car trailer into a toy hauler that will be capable of going to Bonneville Salt Flats, drag racing, maybe car shows all up and down the West Coast. We can haul our cars, and we have somewhere to stay while we're doing it. Let me go show you the trailer. So here's the new trailer. I picked this up off my good friend Ryan Isherwood, and I got it pretty cheap because it has a couple major issues. One, the company that had it before, when they took their logos off the side, this side's not so bad, but I'll show you on the other side here. They really, I don't know if they used a cinder block or what they did, but man, they just destroyed the paint. So I got it cheap for that reason, and the other reason I got it cheap is it had a hole in the roof right up here, which is since being repaired. However, it didn't get repaired for a long time, so I ended up having to, Jim and I completely gutted the inside of this trailer. It was so rotten inside. So I've got all the rot out except for the door. This door we still gotta dissect, and it turned into a can of worms because apparently Hallmark Trailers makes their doors out of wood, and it's so rotten and just crumbled right apart. So yeah, we got to get the trailer fixed up. So it's the end of June right now. August long weekend, we're going drag racing at Mission Raceway for the Langley Loafers Old Time Drags and the Gasser Get Down. And then 2 weeks after that, we were heading to just north of Portland, Oregon, Riverdale Raceway, I think, or Tuttle Raceway. I can't remember exactly what the name of it is. But anyways, the Estranged Car Club out of Portland is having a vintage drag race there, and the Roadster's registered for that. So that gives us about a month to get the trailer roadworthy, as well as prep Model A Roadster. There's a couple things that I want to do before we go back racing with that, just a couple upgrades. So it's going to be a busy month. For starters, in this video, we're going to build a new door. As you saw, that door just completely crumbled apart. It's a mess. So on the floor here, I have got 52 feet of 1x1 aluminum tubing. And we're going to make a new door frame out of this rather than wood like Hallmark did, because I'm not a carpenter. And aluminum, I think it's lighter, and it's definitely way stronger. It's gonna last forever. So a couple days ago, I took some measurements off the door and got where our hinge locations are, our door latch location. This sketch is pretty much kind of how the door was put together when Hallmark built it. Here's our outside dimensions there. So from there, I've gone onto the computer here on the Fusion 360 and drawn up what I want the new door frame to look like. So yes, this is all like 1x1 square tubing. We've got our basic perimeter here. These corners are going to be mitered on a 45. And then we've got our two main studs. Those are, 16 inches on center, just like the rest of the trailer is. These crossbars right here, going from one side of the door to the other, that is where the door hinge is attached to. So that's where it's going to swing open and closed on. And then this little spot right here is where the door lock attaches to. So now that we've got our design, I was able to take all the measurements, and my neighbor Lewis put me on to this website called oppacutter.com, and it's got a linear cut list. So what I've done is entered what I've got for material. We've got two 20-foot lengths, so 240 inches, and one length that's not quite 12 feet, 143 inches. We enter that in there, and then we have entered all our dimensions for the pieces that we need. We've got our outer uprights, top and bottom bars, hinge bars, upper studs, middle studs, lower studs, and our lock. And now when we push calculate, it tells us how we can efficiently lay this material out and cut it to have, you know, the least amount of waste. So we're gonna cut 2 of them at 240 inches. We've got our uprights, our middle studs, top and bottom, hinge bar, upper stud, lower stud. And then on this guy here, 1 lock, 2 locks. Minimal waste. I'm just printing these out now in case I don't get this done today and the computer gets shut off or something. I've got everything here. So this takes into consideration like the kerf width. You got to enter your kerf width in there. So I put an 1/8 inch. The only thing it didn't put in, and this might just be user error because I've never used this app before, but our outer uprights and our top and bottom ones, those are going to be mitered on a 45. So what I think I might do is start this one, we'll cut that on a 45 and cut this on a 45, and then we'll just switch these guys and we'll put our top and bottom next and then our middle studs, and that way this miter and this miter can use the same cut, and that'll actually save us a little bit. So this is our 20-foot length here, the long guy, and when it's done we'll have that little sliver left over, which will be 1 1/4 inches. So like I said, minimal waste. It'll actually be a little bit more because we'll save some on those miters I was just talking about. And then we've got this other bar here that's not quite 12 feet. It was like 143.5. And we're just going to cut 2 little pieces off of that, and then we'll have, 114, almost 115 inches left over. So today I learned that this rung on the ladder is the same height as the saw. This is my neighbor's saw. He lent this to me rather than using my saw because it's got like a aluminum blade in it. So we're gonna make our cuts now. I've got the first cut marked out at 45. So we'll cut that, and that will be our outer upright. 45 on one end, 45 on the other end, and then from there we'll jump over to this guy. That way we can use the same miter. All right, we've got all our pieces cut, and this is how much waste we had. So I'd like to start welding this up now, but Shannon has commandeered my workbench. She's putting a radio together for her media right now, so I don't know if I can move this stuff or not. I'm gonna go talk to her about that. Okay, Shannon's putting her radio in, which means I got my bench sort of back. I've got this laid out, our basic perimeter, and it is all nice and square. Got a little bit of a weird work table situation going on here. Don't you fall off of there. But we're square, so I'm gonna start tacking this in place, and then we can start fitting our cross members. Now that we've got our basic perimeter figured out, we can start fitting our braces. So if we go from there to there, we are 10¼ inches down, which I guess that makes sense because our top 2 bars were 10¼ inch. So we'll put this piece in next and tack it in place. Probably fit these guys then, and then we'll move down and do that one second. Our top hinge bar is tacked in place. This is where the door hinge itself will bolt onto. Gone ahead and clamped down this side, so we'll do the same thing. We'll tack it in place, and then we just got to fit our 2 studs going up the center. Those are 16 inches on square, and those are just for the door skin to screw to. And then right about here, we'll have the braces for the actual door lock. Okay, everything's all tacked in. We've got our lower hinge bar, upper hinge bar, our up and down studs, and then we've got where our door lock is gonna ka-chunk with the padlock. So it's all tacked in place. We're still square. I think I'm gonna go ahead and weld it up. I don't think I'm gonna weld these. I'm just gonna do the insides, and I'll leave the surfaces flat. That way, because this side's gonna have a door skin, an aluminum door skin go on it. And then the reverse side is gonna have some plywood on it. So if I weld that, it's going to be, we'll have to grind that weld down. Or I can just weld only the insides and it'll be fine, because this door was originally made out of wood and it worked fine until it got wet and rotted apart. So we're already like way stronger than that. It'll be okay. It'll be just great. Fantastic. In other news, check out what Shannon just finished. Well, I've been doing that. She found this chrome speaker grill at an estate sale a few days ago, so she put that in. And she put a radio in. This car originally had a delete plate, but when she bought it, it came with 2 radios. So she pieced one together, made one nice one. She painted all the knobs and repainted, all inside there. Made it all look real nice. So that's done. Boom, we're all welded up. So I'm hoping that it stayed somewhat flat on this absolutely terrible, possibly the worst welding table in the history of welding tables. But, if it didn't, I'm not overly concerned. It's a trailer door, not a NASA space shuttle. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna let this hang out overnight, and then tomorrow we'll figure out how to put the skin and hinges and stuff on it. Okay, day 2 on this project. We've run into a bit of a snag. I came out here, I was gonna pull this door off, bring it into the shop, and then take this skin off and transfer it onto our new door frame. By the way, this thing is so light. Aluminum's the best. So good. So yeah, that was the plan for today. However, as I got looking at this thing, It's roached, just munched. I don't want to put this door skin back on. Like, it's trashed. It's got corrosion issues in a bunch of spots. Also, I realized that, like, the way it was built before, all our screws in here, they're not 16 inches on center. Like, those ones all are, but these ones are random. Or not random, but a different order. That's not gonna match this. And that I did know when I made that. I made this 16 inches on purpose just to match these, but I didn't think about how my screw holes aren't gonna line up anymore. And yes, I can drill new screw holes, but then we're gonna have like old screw holes that aren't going anywhere. So unfortunately, today is Saturday and it's a long weekend, meaning I'm not buying new aluminum today. It's not gonna happen. So the door is gonna have to probably get pushed to next week when I can get a fresh sheet of aluminum, and we'll just, I mean, we've gone this far making a new door. Let's put a new skin on it as well. In the meantime, I'm gonna start doing some other stuff on the trailer. My friend Cody owns he has a company that does wraps. So we were talking, and rather than like painting this trailer or reskinning the whole trailer, he's gonna wrap it the same color as brown sugar, the Ford Sequina brown, metallic brown, same color as my truck. But before we can wrap it, he wants me to pull all these screws out. He doesn't want to, he said you can wrap around the screws, but it's a lot better if you pull the screws out and then wrap it and put the screws back in after, which makes sense. That's a lot of labor to, you know, screw around trying to get the wrap material to go around there. So I've come out here with, we've got some homemade penetrating oil, we've got some vice grips, and we've got a double square. These are not Torx bits, despite what they look like. They are a double square, which is like two Robertsons stacked up on top of each other. And that does not come out because this is just dusty old wood behind. How's this one come out? Not bad. Not bad at all. So I'm okay with that. I was a little hesitant to pull all these out originally, but then after Jim and I like pulled all the siding off the inside of the trailer here, like you can get to the back side of all the screws here. So I'm gonna give them a little squirt with some penetrating oil and start blasting them out, and then we can get it ready for Cody to wrap. The panels won't fall off because they're still gonna be attached up at the top, and I might just leave a couple in there. His shop where we're gonna wrap it is only like 3 blocks away from here, so it'll be okay. We're not gonna be doing 100 miles an hour to get there. Don't think they'll fall off. That's today's plan. These things are terrible. I hope whoever invented those got fired. So my bit is wiped. My other bit is wiped. And the bit that Jim was using on the door is wiped. So yeah, basically it's like 1 bit per panel, and I'm out of bits. So yeah, that took me like 10 minutes. What am I gonna do now? This is why I build cars, not trailers. I'm a hot rod builder, not a trailer restoration technician. Maybe I'll just go work on my 32. Order some new bits, order some aluminum, come back to this later. Okay, it's Friday morning. We're gonna go on a supply run. So Shannon went and picked up some aluminum already. This is 30 thou aluminum. She got a sheet cut to the size of the door, and then an additional sheet that's just a normal 4x8 that we can use because there's a couple spots we got to make some patches. we're gonna go to the hardware store and get some new screws that are not double square, as well as what else we're gonna do. We gotta go see Cody at CJ Auto Bling we're gonna compare some of his color samples to the color of the truck, brown sugar. So we can get some material ordered for the trailer wrap. And what else we gotta do? We gotta stop at Mega Screen and pick up some shirts. Got a fresh batch of LG Speed and Custom Roadster shirts. So they're all back in stock on the website now. Go check them out if you haven't got one already. And we're gonna stop at Rondex Auto Body Supply and get an eraser wheel. Just there on the back of the trailer, it's got Hallmark and stuff. I wanna take that off so that when Cody wraps it, it doesn't get embossed. And some wax and grease remover, and I'm out of gun wash, so we'll get some gun wash too. So that's this morning's plan. Hey, we're back from our adventure. We got an eraser wheel. We've got t-shirts. We've got wax and grease remover. We've got gun wash. The wrap, I don't know if that's gonna work out. So Cody had a color that was like an exact match to the truck. It's discontinued. The next closest one is, it's got the right amount of brown, but not enough sugar. So on plan B or C with that. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm thinking now maybe just paint the trailer, sand it real quick, buzz the whole thing down with a DA, blow all the screws out, and just spray it. I don't know, I'm hesitant about that because aluminum, especially once you put all those screws back in, is really prone to peeling, and that if that started peeling off, that'd make a huge mess. So still thinking about that. In the meantime, let's just finish the door and focus on that for right now. Okay, let's throw this on. See how it fits. I gave them the dimensions of the door, and they were gonna cut it to those dimensions. So far, so good. A little bit on the big side, but I think that'll be okay. All right, I've got some screws. I did not go with the double square like it had, because those are just awful. So I went with the tried and proven Canadian Special, a Robertson. These are Canadian only bits. It's bad etiquette to use this in automotive. I will make fun of you if you use Robertson screws on your car. But this isn't a car, this is a trailer. So those rules don't count. And we're gonna use the Robertson because the Robertson is probably one of the best screwdriver bits ever made. Just a nice simple square. Let's fit this, get this nice and square. I might have to trim it a little bit, which is a little bit annoying because that was the whole point of getting them to cut it to the dimensions. But yeah, it's like an 1/8 of an inch big. I've got it flushed up on this side and along the top here, and we've got like a 1/8 inch overhang on that side and like a 1/4 inch overhang on this side. So we'll trim that down after. I'm not worried about it right now. I have marked where our first upright is. I don't want to screw the edge down yet. I want to get the molding off of the old door first so that I can use those screw holes to essentially screw the molding on and this at the same time. So there's our first one there. We'll put a couple screws like on the middle studs here. So that should be, our next one should be 16 inches. From there, let's do a double check down here. 31.5. Beautiful, yep. Math checks out. 16 inches, so we'll put a stud there, or we have a stud there, we can put a screw there. 16 inches. 16 inches. should probably mark the ones going this way across too. I don't know, we might not need to. I was thinking we could put screws in that way as well, but I kind of like the looks of it when, you know, we just have a nice straight row of screws and not some in between. Boom. So we're 75 inches, which means our center line is going to be 37.5. So we can have a screw in the center, and then I think we'll go do 1 foot spacing, and that should make our last screw. It won't exactly be 12 inches to the end, but it'll be like 12.5 inches to get one on the last little bit there, which it'll be fine. It'll be close enough. All right, so that's 37.5. That is a 16-inch straight edge, not a 12-inch. Be right back. 12-inch. Line that up on there. The trailer manufacturer, I had noticed, definitely didn't do this. When I was taking the other screws out, I noticed that they were just like, they were random, wherever, whoever was working on it, whoever wanted them, wherever. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, perfect. I'm gonna do that on that side and then we'll start screwing them. Our inside studs are all screwed down, so our panel's secure now. It's a little floppy on the end still, but that's not a problem. I got one piece of trim off the side of the door. I might hit it quickly with a Scotch-Brite and just kind of clean it up a little bit, but it's slides right over top. The other pieces are on the door still, so I think it's the time where we need to pull the other door off the trailer, bring it in here, and then we can start stripping it down. So to get this door off, I'm gonna take the hinges off the trailer rather than the door. So these are straightforward. That's just a 3/8 bolt on each side. But this one here, I don't know what bit that is, but I don't have that bit. I do have these guys though. So I'm hoping that they will grip that enough that I can buzz the lock nut off the back side. This would be really easy if I had an assistant right now, but I don't. So we'll have to get creative. I'm gonna do the top one first because it's a little bit easier. Okay, the nut is off. The door sagged a little bit. I think it'll be okay. Where'd I put the other nut? There it is. All right, now the tricky guys. Holy crap, I forgot about that. I'm gonna try to get this bolt back in here. Nope. All right, maybe we can. All right, got the door wedged in there. Oop. Okay, it just needs to hold long enough for the nut to get off, which it did not do. These bolts are stupid. Why do people got to make things so hard? Just use a normal nut and bolt. I don't know, is this like theft deterrent stuff? Like, this is 30 gauge aluminum. If someone wants in, they can just like smash a hole through it. Could rip through this door in minutes with an axe. Brennan came and helped me, and we got one out, but this one, it's not happening. So grinder and like 200 feet of extension cord. I think we're in business now. It might fall when this comes off. Okay. Boom. What was so hard about that? Let's set it right over there. So we got the door inside now, out of the heat. It's hot out today. I'm gonna take these hinges off, which are probably gonna have to cut them too, because they are, that's a Torx bit, but it is seized solid. So we'll just cut them, we'll get our hinges off. I've marked them top and bottom, so we know which way they'll go. We'll pull this trim off. I got that piece off already. And it seems to be, I got it kind of mocked up here. It seems to be fitting good, but we'll get all four sides in place where we want them and then screw it down. Once it's all screwed down, we can unscrew it and then peel this protective coating off, because it's really hard to get this off once the screws are through there. It's easier to just take it off and put the screws back in. But we'll do that after, because right now you can mark it and draw on it and not worry about damaging the finished product. All right, we've got our hinges off, and this thing is all apart. We got all our trim off. As you saw, I just went and sanded the trim real quick and then brushed it with Scotch-Brite. It's not perfect. There's still, like, this is where the big bar that holds it shut sits, and it's got a pretty good groove in there. That's not gonna come out. But the rest of it came out considerably better than it was. It's gonna look great. Unfortunately, this new door is a 1/2 inch taller than the other door. I'm not sure how that happened, but it happened. There's nothing I'm gonna do about it now. So that means that, like right now, I've got these mitered ends sitting real nice. And we got a gap up here, especially, oh, this side just blew apart on me. So I'll just split the difference and we'll have a little gap on each end. And it's gonna be fine, because no one will ever notice. You guys are the only ones that'll ever know. And you're not gonna tell anybody, are you? Didn't think so. So let's start screwing this stuff down. Our exterior trim is all screwed down, and yeah, we got gaps. It's not perfect. But you know what? It's better than that. And that's all that I want, is just better than that. I've laid our hinges on here. I made marks before I took them off, reference points, so I know where they go on the new door. So I've transferred those marks on here. Let's drill some holes. There should be, oh yeah, there should be a cross member right there. We'll drill some holes, bolt our hinges on, put our lock on that side. It's still on the old door. And then we should be able to hang this door and see if it fits. Should probably paint these too. They're pretty crusty. Aluminum's the best. Our hinges are drilled. I painted the hinges. They're sitting outside drying in the sun. And I was going to drill these holes, but because our door ended up somehow being a ½ inch bigger, I'm holding off on that. And I'm gonna put it on the trailer and fit it, like actually close the latch and see where it lines up, and then fit it, drill our holes and fit it on the trailer, just to make sure that we're not, you know, ½ inch off or something. Something weird. Something got weird somewhere, so I can't trust my measurements anymore. Along with the hinges, I painted the lock. This is just that like cast iron gray paint in the old brown sugar paint booth. So while that's drying, because that's going to take a little bit, I think I'm going to start cleaning up some of this mess, and let's pull this plastic coating off. Just pull the corners off. And now we can pull this back. Just gonna do it in like stages and then put the pieces back on, just to try to keep everything like in order. Oh man, it looks so nice. I'm so scared to touch it. So what I'm considering doing, since my wrap idea has gotten a little weird, is instead of wrapping it, for almost the same price, I can just buy all new aluminum panels. Where it gets weird is the panels on the trailer are 49 inches. They're not 48-inch panels, they're 49 inches, so that each panel overlaps 1 inch, and I think that's to keep it like maybe watertight or something going down the road. So if I buy new panels, I can buy brand new panels from Hallmark, 49-inch ones, but they are almost double the price of a 4x8 panel. But I was thinking if I skin it with some 4x8 panels, and then where each panel, each seam is, I mean there's going to be a seam there, what if we just put like a, 1.5 inch strip down it? Do you think that'd look weird? Or do you think it'd look okay? I think I could live with that. And then the whole trailer would be this brushed aluminum. It'll look amazing until it gets scratched or dirty. But I mean, that's kind of like anything, I guess. That black that's on it now probably looked amazing until it got, first time it got dirty and somebody washed it. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like once we'll hang this door and see how it looks once the door's on. And if it looks like super cool, then maybe we'll just do that. We'll just have like a brushed aluminum trailer. Let me know what you think on that. I'm excited. There's a dent right there. Just a little dent. It'll be fine. Just don't look at it. Bam! There we go. Looks like a walk-in freezer door. All right, let's go stick fingers in the paint and see if it's dry yet. All right, let's put our hinges back on. I'm just putting normal nuts and bolts in. Nothing stupid, because that was stupid. Just using some nylocks on the back, because we don't want this to fall apart going down the highway. Okay, we're ready to hang it again. Our door is on. Our hinges worked out great. This piece here, I'm glad I held off on because it was a little bit too high. I had to mount it down. It's still a little bit too high, but it's as low as I could go and still being able to catch that. So I think my weird measurement thing, it got weird in the top. But the important part is the door still closes very nicely. And this still works fine. It's just that doesn't. It should sit a little bit lower. It'll be fine though, I can live with it. Look at that door. It is so shiny. Our rubber gasket is sealed really nice. I'm happy with that all the way around. I'd have to go inside the trailer and see if you can see daylight coming through anywhere. I know you definitely used to be able to with the old door. Inside right now, Shannon's gonna close the door and latch it. And we'll check for leaks. I think we're good. That little spot down there is in the trailer, not the door. Tiny little bit up in the top corner. Oh, you know exactly what that is on both sides there. That's where our gap got weird on our trim. But otherwise, no daylight coming through. Cool. Okay, Shannon, let me out. It's really hot in here. So a couple things we still got to do on this door. It's not 100% done. We still got to skin the inside, which means we're going to have to take these back off one more time because the skin goes in there in that little gap. And we need to build some sort of latch for the inside so that when we're camping in it, we have a way to be able to close the door. Our old trailer had an actual like door latch. This one does not, but we can figure that out later. All right, well, that's it for this video. We built a trailer door. There is still so much more stuff to do on this trailer yet. Besides the trailer door, like figure out what we're gonna do with the rest of these panels. I hope you guys can see in here, but back here, my friend Charlie gave me a whole bunch of windows out of a RV that he stripped for parts. So we're gonna figure out where to put those windows in here. Definitely got to insulate it in here. It is 5,000 degrees in here right now, but that probably will save until after the drag races because we're getting close. Today is July 5th, so we still have just under a month. We got like 3 weeks left to finish the trailer and the Roadster. We still got to get the Roadster ready as well. So, but at least, you know, this part, the heavy part, is done. All right, again, thanks everybody for watching. Let me know what you think. And as always, make sure to hit the website, lgspeedcustom.com, for some LG Speed and Custom merch. Thanks everybody for watching.